right there, mister.
Angie Dickinson, William Shatner, Tom Skerritt, Big Bad Mama, rated R.
Big Bad Mama is a loose follow-up to 1970's Bloody Mama, which starred Shelley Winters. The film was produced and directed by Roger Corman, who produced Big Bad Mama. Mm-hmm. But it's not a sequel or a remake, though. It's just kind of follows the tradition of similar films.
I think there was also a Crazy Mama that was made, also in a similar vein, but not a sequel or having anything.
Well, that sounds very sexist. We're obviously gaslighting this poor woman.
Leave it up to Corman, you know. But there was also a sequel to this movie.
Yeah, Jim Wynorski, the chopping mall guy, Tom Papadopoulos. Yeah, he directed the sequel to Big Bad Mama 2. It's not as good.
You seen it?
Yeah, it doesn't hold up to the first.
But that's
Yeah,
that's
seems like for a lot of these movies they didn't make sequels until the 80s.
Oh, because they're just like, we got to capitalize on some property we have.
I don't know if it was because they came cult films on video, or if it's just because it took a long time. Corman had success with Boxcar Bertha in 1972, which was Martin Scorsese's first film.
Oh, cool.
It's also like a Depression-era exploitation film. So I think that gave him the impetus to produce more similar stuff. Big Bad Mama was directed by Steve Carver. It was his second feature. He was another Roger Corman guy.
What do you mean?
He started working at New World Pictures, like cutting trailers, and worked his way up to being a director.
Okay.
So it's crazy how the film industry used to work. Like you'd start in the mailroom, Roger Corman would let you fucking direct a movie.
Yeah. You just walk in and, hey, here's the thing I made, or I want to make something. They're like, hey, kid.
We make stuff.
Yeah.
So it's such a simple, fun world.
Yeah.
Oh, you like to make stuff? We also like to make stuff.
Hey, you get it. This letter guy likes.
Now it's like, hey, who do you know? Is your Uncle Rich? Do you want this child? Do you want to go to Bryan Singer's house and black out? Big Bad Mama takes place in Paradise, Texas, 1932.
I'm a sucker for a period piece.
The film opens with Wilma McClatchy, the title character played by Angie Dickinson. Basically, she's berating her two daughters, Polly and Billie Jean, played by Robbie Lee and Susan Sennett.
Right. How old do you suppose Polly is?
That's one of the things I was wondering, because I'm not sure. But Polly does seem like sometimes she's acting kind of like a child and holding a toy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird. But I think they're of age.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to get married, but it's also the South
also the 1930s in Texas. I don't know what the fuck age you get
do.
married at. Yeah.
Yeah, but so.
But they definitely sexualize her. So she is a child.
Certainly, no. They do all sorts of nonsense. She should not be a child. She's probably between 16 and 18 would be my best guess. And she's marrying this goofy guy, and Mama does not approve.
Yeah, Mama's not too pleased with the arrangement, and they arrive at this small Depression-era church, and we're introduced to Polly's soon-to-be in-laws, and also there's another character, Uncle Barney, who's Wilma's bootlegger boyfriend.
Right. Yeah. He's kind of sleazy, but he seems like a fun guy, I guess, right?
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
Does he honk her boobs or something silly like that?
He's trying to touch Angie Dickinson's tits, and he gives the girl some money. He's like, here's a little something, and you're going to be getting a little something later, because I done seen that groom's penis, and it's very small.
Yeah, he does pretty much say that verbatim, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even really a joke. It's just what he says in the movie.
Well, I've got something for the little bride. Of course, you're going to be getting something else a little later on tonight.
Yeah. As a custom down south, the father of the bride usually measures the groom's penis before the ceremony.
Of course.
And being that Wilma is a single mother and Polly's father isn't in the picture, she had to have her boyfriend put a ruler to the young man's penis behind the church.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so you measure it flaccid?
That's a good question. I'm not really, 100% on all these Texas customs.
Also, if it's hard, do you measure from the top or the bottom?
Oh, you measure from the top, dude. Measuring from the bottom's cheating.
Like measuring from where your balls start is cheating?
Yeah, that's yeah. You start from your to the tip of your dick.
Around your balls, you calculate the circumference.
Yeah, you're cheating a little bit.
Do a little math.
So everyone piles into the little church for the wedding, and Wilma disrupts the ceremony. She knocks someone over with her purse and pulls her daughter away from the altar. Yeah, it's a pretty fun scene. Polly's breast pops out of her wedding dress.
They do a close-up on it. They just cut in. Oh, there's a boob.
Sexploitation.
Oh, don't forget, this scene didn't have a boob, but whoop, it's got a boob.
Yeah. You got to show the child bride's tits, Russ. Come on.
Yeah. Classic.
So Wilma almost fights the father of the groom. And then the three girls jump in Uncle Barney's car and take off before, the whole family erupts out of the church.
all to like some hillbilly. Did you know the music's actually performed by Jerry Garcia
That's
of
pretty cool.
the Grateful Dead? He
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
did all the guitar and like banjo
Yeah.
music for this movie. So actually, the soundtrack's pretty it sounds good. I was in it.
Sure.
Very.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess Mama's maternal instincts kicked in, and she didn't want to, she wanted to save her daughter from marrying this dim-witted Dust Bowl kid.
with a small dick.
You're going to end up with a small dick husband like me, going penniless and less.
That is not the American dream.
So while the girls and Uncle Barney are driving away, they're like having a good old time in the car. And there's like two federal agents. One's played by Dick Miller.
Classic Dick.
Yeah.
Fucking coming up out of nowhere. I feel like I didn't see that guy until we watched Gremlins. And now every movie we've watched has Dick Miller. He's
Yeah.
popping up. Hey, I'm the janitor. Oh, hey, I'm just cleaning this.
No, he was the guy.
I'm
The
an
80s and
airplane.
90s, like everybody in my generation knows Dick Miller as, hobo, bum, drunk. And also the other one was Buck Flower.
Buck Flower?
Yeah, he was the guy who was in like all the John Carpenter movies. Those were the two dudes
Sure.
that you always see in the 80s and 90s as homeless people. Dick Miller had a pretty long history with Roger Corman. And he starred in A Bucket of Blood. You ever see that movie?
No.
It's interesting to see him at different ages. Because I've only seen, until I was older, I only saw him as an old man.
Right. From
You know?
Gremlins, yeah.
So, the agents are tagging them. And Wilma refuses to pull over, so the agent points a pistol at her. She still refuses.
Classic cops.
Yeah, she tells him her brakes are out. Polly pleads with the feds not to shoot, and her boob is still hanging out of her dress.
Gotta have the boob.
Yeah, sexploitation.
Yeah, you gotta have the nipple.
Yeah.
And during a gunshot fight. I feel like cops do pull their guns quite a bit in this movie.
It's also a 70s movie. It's supposed to take place in the 30s.
Right.
So it's like, how would have people acted
Right.
back then? And how would have that been interpreted in the 70s?
When you're trying to also make an exploitation film.
Yeah.
So it's like an action film, but yeah. So yeah. I will say this too. Good gunplay.
Yeah.
In the film, and we haven't actually got to any yet, but I'm just saying now that we're introducing the idea that
Yeah, well, that's what happens next. Like, Wilma runs the feds off the road, causing their car to turn over.
Yeah, they crashed this 1930s car or whatever.
And then the Dick Miller character, like, takes a shot at Uncle Barney. A miracle shot, by the way, because it doesn't look like the car is anywhere near them.
Yeah.
And it fatally kills, hits Barney.
In his back? I
have no idea.
It does.
It's a miracle bullet. It's a real, like, Lee Harvey Oswald shot.
Zooms around. He, like, twisted the gun just so the flies... Does a U-turn, comes back down the road, hitting Uncle Barney in the head. Sad. Everybody cries for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, they bury him pretty unceremoniously, and they get over it pretty quick.
And they take off his ring,
Yeah, they take over his business.
pull out his gold teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then take over his business. Yeah, bootleg moonshining.
So the next day, Mama and the girls head out to make Barney's deliveries. And the first house they go to, Mama gets into a scuffle with like a heavyset abolitionist. She brings the hooch to the wrong door, and this like big Texas lady grabs her. It's a pretty funny scene. Even just like the ADR of the big fat lady like huffing and squealing is like worth the laugh.
She's really.
And
Like
Angel
a pug.
Dickinson just puts her on her ass. Yeah, she does sound like a pug. And then, Wilma sends Billie Jean to deliver to a woman, and I guess she's like expecting Uncle Barney. So when she hears someone at the door, she gets nude. This must be like Uncle Barney's side piece.
Sure.
And then, when Billie Jean comes in, the woman's surprised, and Billie Jean responds by saying,
Sorry, I couldn't help you, ma'am. Of course, we could send Wesley, the color man, over.
the lady gets so upset about her saying that she throws a bottle at her.
Yeah. She does get very upset about that. I actually didn't.
That's some old school racism. Yeah. I'd only trade sex with a white man. Get out of here.
How dare you even suggest that?
Yeah. So Polly goes to make a delivery and ends up in some random guy's house. The two are canoodling.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Smoochulating, touching.
Polly seems horny. I think Polly is ready for some action.
Polly was the
Billie
youngest
Jean's
one,
already
right?
had sex.
Yeah.
as they say in the beginning.
Right. But Polly, you know, she was looking. What's interesting about the marriage is that everyone keeps, or like her sister and her keep pointing out, they're like, ooh, and then you can have the sex. Because really, that's what it seemed like, what it was all about for Polly. Like, she was interested in this guy, but he's doofy, and her mom didn't like him because he was penniless and he had a tiny penis.
Yeah.
But she was just excited for the sex. And now that she's not married, she can't have the sex. And that's a bummer. So
Yeah, she's of age and she's looking to get it in. So the boy's father walks in on them, and it's the sheriff. So Polly ends up at the sheriff's station, which is also a great scene. Although the movie never explains why Barney would have the sheriff's address on his delivery list. It seems like a pretty big mix-up.
right, unless it is the sheriff's moonshine,
Then why would he arrest her and not just buy the moonshine?
because his son was making out with her. It's to punish his son.
All right.
It's because he wants to just pull
I don't
a
know.
power
The
trip.
plot to this movie really doesn't
You're
make
right.
sense, and it's like
Sure.
it's fine because it's a fun movie, but
Yeah,
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
it is kind of.
It also it seems like things are edited out of order.
Sure. I was trying to kind of find like the through line story, and something happens, but it's like I didn't know at what point I was like in the story. You know, I wasn't like, "Ooh, this is the midway point," because you know we finally got the thing we needed, but all is lost soon.
Yeah, it almost feels like a bunch of short episodes
Right.
together. So at the station, the sheriff is just slopping down jelly donuts and sweating.
It's like he's got so much jam on the end of his on his shirt by the end of the scene that you could like he could just suck.
Yeah, he's a real mess.
Yeah, it's awful.
So Wilma tries to get Polly out of trouble by telling him she's retarded. But the sheriff obviously knows better. This is Texas, and you're talking to a guy who executes the developmentally disabled for a living.
Well, you see, she's retarded. You wouldn't believe it to look at her.
Lady, I find that hard to believe.
You think I don't know a retard when I see one, lady?
Like I can spot him from a mile away.
We'll put her in the chair and see if she squeals like a retard.
My goodness.
So the sheriff shakes down the girls and takes all their money. So now they've basically lost everything they've made from the bootlegging. So they're back to square one. And instead of going back to the still, Wilma takes a job as a waitress. She's hoping to save enough money to take the girls to California for a better life.
An honest living.
Well, one day while Wilma and the girls are heading to the diner, Polly and Billie Jean get propositioned to dance for some veterans, which is pretty interesting.
That is.
Yeah. She tells the girls that veterans are a bunch of diseased degenerates.
Right. She calls them, what was the word she used?
She says they have the something or other, some like old term for STDs.
Yeah, right. The rickets.
The drip or some shit.
The drip.
You know?
Dick
Whatever the fuck they had
tricholitis.
back then, yeah. So Polly and Billie Jean disregard their mother's warning and they audition for the burlesque show. And they get the job along with another older woman who I think is also a waitress from the diner.
Yeah, she is in a waitress outfit.
The older lady seems like more experienced.
She's done it before.
Yeah. Yeah, she probably came up like blowing guys in weird cars that aren't made anymore, like Packards and Stewarts. You heard of like a Roadhead? Back in the 20s, Russ, it was a dirt Roadhead.
Oh, ooh,
You know?
gritty.
So Polly and Billie Jean just kind of follow the lead of the more experienced dancer, and that gets them through the audition.
Right. Just shaking their butt or whatever.
Yeah, they just kind of like mime her, and they really don't do much for the audition. The guy's just like, yeah, you got the job,
Yeah,
girls.
You're three women who showed
Yeah,
up.
these girls, they going up next. So then the sheriff from earlier shows up, and he rallies the crowd against the evil socialism of the New Deal.
Goddamn New Deal. What's the New Deal? That was a political.
Yeah, it was like a government spending thing, I think.
What were they trying to do with it?
They're trying to like make jobs and shit during the Depression, I think. But I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot, dude.
I'm gonna look it up. But you
You're
should.
really asking the wrong
No,
person.
I'm gonna look it up. You should keep going. Thanks. Little politics in.
Yeah, I think they're
political
taking a
movie.
jab at like, oh, look, everything. These guys think everything's socialism. You know what I mean? That's like kind of the joke.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I could feel that. I
It's,
mean, this movie feels like
movie's full of satire.
It does feel like a lot.
Yeah, so the girls come out in their weird like 1930s dresses, and Billie Jean and Polly just kind of stand there while the older woman gives the starts to like dance.
Just wiggling.
The best way I can describe this woman for the audio listeners is she looks like Stewart's mom from Mad TV, the character played by Mo Collins.
Stop.
Yeah. Imagine Stewart's mom stripping down so you could see her awful flat ass.
Stewart. Yeah. I can't do a good
Did you enjoy the striptease, Russ?
Yeah, but I'm really into Mad TV.
Yeah.
So.
Just a goofy, fucking flat ass lady with a boy's haircut.
Yeah.
She doesn't look great, but she's a real pro at doing the nipple tassel.
She has good boobs.
She has good boobs, and she can do the nipple tassel.
I didn't expect the nipple tassels, and I did also not expect her to. She's gonna take off, dude. They're gonna. She's gonna fly away.
No, she's a pro. It's definitely ain't her first rodeo. So Mama storms into the Legionnaire Hall and interrupts the whole show. She berates the vets and she knocks the guy off the stage with her purse.
He does a pretty good fall onto this table.
Yeah.
I don't know if the table was supposed to break, but...
Yeah, and then she pulls a pistol and takes all the cash from the card game. So the sheriff goes for his gun and Polly bites him.
Right.
That'll prove she's a retard.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You know?
We got the proof is in the...
That's what I was thinking. Like, is this scene supposed to happen before the other scene? Is that why they reference her biting? But he didn't say he bit her.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you saying
maybe they edited the scene out.
That was blood all over his shirt instead of jelly, and he's just bleeding from the hand.
Yeah. So then Polly breaks a bottle over the sheriff's head, and Mama fires off some shots into the air before they take off with all the cash. The veterans are disappointed they didn't get to see Polly and Billie Jean nude,
right.
But they still get a chance to gangbang the Mo Collins-looking lady after the show.
Nice. Everybody wins.
Exactly.
God bless America.
That's my type of socialism. Everybody gets pussy.
Gary for press.
Everybody gets
Gary
awful fucking diner waitress pussy.
At like the end of the line. You know who's...
No, you're going to wait your turn. This is a socialist system. Okay, you don't get your own pussy. We all got to share this pussy.
265 guy cream pie.
Yeah.
It's everybody in town.
So the girls get some nice new dresses, and Mama vows they'll never be poor again before they take off for California in Uncle Barney's car.
We might as well. He's not using it. Get on out. Get out of town.
Yeah. Yeah. Cue the Jerry Garcia driving music. So the girls break down on the side of the road and spot a bus full of church people and a preacher.
Right.
Yeah. So Mom and the girls try to join them, and then the feds from earlier show up. So there's some more like kind of 70s satire in here. The preacher like tries to heal a guy with crutches at one point, and he just like falls over. Yeah.
I can walk. Whoa. Yeah.
And the girls are able to get away by just hiding in the bus, which is weird because I don't understand why the feds are so powerless in stopping the church bus. I don't know. The plot doesn't make sense all the time. It's a pretty entertaining movie, and it moves pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. There's a couple scenes that do drag.
The logic just isn't there. Like the congregation just like suddenly stops for a baptism, and the preacher takes off with the money and sneaks away to his car that's parked near where they're having the. Like,
it was all planned.
Yeah, it all just works out perfectly, right? Yeah, Mama sees him and catches him with her gun, and they take the preacher hostage, only to dump him out of the moving car up the road.
Right,
which is pretty great.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool stunt, and the guy throws like an extra backflip in there at the end. He like,
okay,
if you're watching, he like tumbles backwards, and he's probably just protecting his head, being a stunt guy. But he like ends up like almost picking himself, like doing a handstand. But yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun gag.
Good stunts. Yeah. Again, the amount of like, it's got a lot of good stunts. Got a lot of good shooting work, and the car stuff, they're just ripping these old cars like off fucking jumps and shit. You know, they're doing whatever.
Well, they do, but all they really do is flip the cars onto their side. You notice that? It's just the little ramp and the car going onto their side. It's not like they're not ruining the cars. They're obviously doing it in a way
so they can reuse them.
I think so, yeah. Mama and the girls go to a bank where they're trying to cash a fake check for some reason. Which is kind of confusing. They just got a bunch of money. I don't know why are they doing that right now. Like I said, the plot of this movie is fucking garbage.
Yeah, you know what?
Who cares?
Maybe I didn't pick up on that. I wasn't quite sure why they're at the bank.
I'm also like, as I'm watching this movie, I'm confused. Like, where the fuck are they? I thought they were going to California.
Yeah,
then I think they're in like Kentucky.
Where'd they shoot it?
I don't know.
SoCal?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I think this was shot in like Kentucky or Texas or something.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, they're trying to cash a bad check, and two bank robbers show up, and there's a shootout.
Right. Pretty cool. Some good squibs.
Yeah, and I guess this is like real 1930s stuff, right? Like this whole bank robber thing.
Where just a bunch of guys rush in and...
Guy showing up with an automatic gun, which was like crazy at the time, like new tech.
Right.
And, you know...
Thompson.
Yeah, so one of these guys gets killed, and seeing the opportunity in the situation, Mama and the girls attack the teller and grab a bunch of cash and take off. And the other bank robber runs after them and jumps onto their car, and he's able to fend off the police with his gun so they can get away. So now Wilma and Fred Diller, played by Tom Skerritt, decide to team up, and they also become lovers.
Has Tom? He's been in other things.
Yeah, I think Tom Skerritt was in a lot of films.
I feel like I have seen him. Has he ever not had a mustache?
I'm not really sure what he's in.
Alien.
Oh, okay, he's an alien.
He's the captain
Oh, okay.
in Alien, right? Who's crawling through the vents and gets eaten there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So there's a sex scene that's mostly just Angie Dickinson from the back. Is it Dixon or Dickinson?
I actually didn't write it down, so I don't know. Dickinson.
Yeah. More like Dick and daughter.
Woohoo!
Yeah, she looks a little leathery, but she's still pretty hot considering she's like in her 40s.
Specifically in this scene, she did look like a tetherball.
Billie Jean is jealous. She wants a mustache ride from Tom Skerritt, I guess.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, right? She wants her mom's... That's weird. Why would you be like, I'm jealous of my mom's boyfriend? That's fucking...
Yeah, I guess it's like the whole thing is like the fantasy of like sleeping with the hot mom and the hot daughter. Maybe that's like where it comes from. Because this is like, that's what this is. This is like a sex fantasy movie.
Sure.
Right?
Just the scenes don't have penetration.
It's not a porno.
All right. But it could have easily been.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not what it is. This is not a hardcore porno.
Right. You're not going there to jerk off.
Well, you can go there to jerk off if you want, but you're not going to see Angie Dixon take a dick inside of her. This is a fucking real actress. Have some respect, Russ.
Yeah, you're right.
Stop trying to look at Tom Skerritt's dick, you fucking sicko.
I just want to see...
This is a serious film. All right.
Yeah.
So Wilma and the gang go to the racetrack where she meets William J. Baxter, played by William Shatner.
I have to have the same first name as myself. I'm like Jackie Chan.
I just want to get confused. He's a slick Southern gentleman, but also kind of like a broke loser.
Right.
Mama really knows how to pick him. Like, the first dude she bangs is a fucking bank robber, and then the second dude she finds is a fucking broke loser.
Well, that's why she's bad.
Yeah.
Gary.
She's big bad mama.
Yeah.
So then she just like abruptly dumps Diller for Baxter.
Right. But while Diller's still like stuck with him. So,
yeah, and Diller's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He's actively like, wait, what?
And then Billie Jean sees it as an opportunity to get close to Diller.
Right. That's also weird. And I guess
the whole thing is strange.
Like, Mama doesn't really care. Like, she's just scheming the whole time. So that really just kind of, I guess my daughter can get my hand-me-downs.
Yeah. Well, losing your girl to William Shatner is pretty rough.
Yeah. So she needed to let Diller instead.
What's that?
So she needed to let...
I just wanted to call Tom Skerritt Captain Cuck.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I wanted.
That's good. Because he looks like Captain Hook. But also...
No. Oh. Not at all, Russ.
Okay.
Because William Shatner is Captain Kirk.
Oh.
He's fucking his girl.
Ah, there you go. I get it. It's funny.
So the gang uses Baxter as their getaway driver, and they rob the racetrack tellers.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
to boldly go where one man has gone before.
Sure, there you go.
There we go.
There you go. That's a reference. Mama shoots off the Tommy gun, and they make some more cars flip onto their side. It's fun stuff.
It's funny now that you say that.
It's pretty much all that happens, right?
Yeah, there's no big roles.
So all the while, Dick Miller is still on Wilma's tail. And then we get a sex scene with Angie Dickinson and William Shatner.
So awkward.
It is.
Are
weird.
they having sex? He's like rubbing her with fake oil.
He's like behind her. Yeah. And Dickinson looks pretty good. And Shatner is kind of a fucking fat mess. It's kind of weird, but you do get to see Mama's big heavies. Nice. And she looks pretty stacked when she's like...
Yeah.
From the front there.
But she doesn't necessarily look like she's having sex. She doesn't look like she's enjoying it.
No, it's not a very authentic...
I don't know what they're doing.
Also, this is interesting, but according to the director, Steve Carver, Angie Dickinson allowed the crew to remain on set during the filming of her sex scene with Tom Skerritt, but William Shatner asked for all the non-essential crew to be removed during his sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe William Shatner's a little dick shy.
Well, I found a snippet from William Shatner's book about this sex scene.
Oh, great.
And he was concerned about popping a boner during the filming of it. Let's see. Up Till Now by William Shatner. Angie focused on my eyes and then shyly let her bathrobe drop to the floor. I stood there in awe. I was looking at the perfection of the female body. This is an ode to the beauty of woman. Her silken skin flowed mellifluously over her hips into the rising swells of her ripened breasts. Her long, blonde hair just barely covering, etc., etc. It goes on about like how sexy she is. But finally, we shot the scene.
Keep going, buddy. You're getting me hard.
No. But then Dickinson changed her mind and asked the presence of most of the crew. And
oh, that's funny. So William Shatner was like, "Yeah, get all the crew out of here," and Dickinson was like, "No, don't leave me alone with this fucking naked William Shatner weirdo, dude.
And
this
finally,
fucking fat mess is trying to put his boner on my butt."
He thinks sex is just pretending to rub butter on my shoulders.
He was confused, like, "Why isn't this woman green? I only have sex with green women."
And finally, we shot the scene. It wasn't nearly as hard as I feared. And he's probably talking about his penis.
His penis. Yeah.
Everything was so technical.
Yeah.
God damn it, Bill, get your soft cock off of my thigh. What do you think this is? A goddamn fun time? We're trying to shoot a fucking movie over here.
Could everyone just leave the room for a second? Just.
All right, folks, cleared out. Bill's fucking dick shy again. He's going fucking soft because the Latin guy looked at his cock.
I just don't. Yeah.
So the whole time Wilma and Baxter are banging, Tom Skerritt is watching and jerking off. And Billie Jean finds him watching and takes him to bed.
Billie Jean is now his lover. She's just a girl that was the daughter of the last girl that he slept with. But the kid won't be here.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's a pretty good consolation prize. Like, he's literally just getting the younger, hotter version of her.
But her boobs aren't as big.
Oh, you don't think so?
Well, she does complain in the
Billie
mirror.
Jean is a little bit smaller than a little bit smaller chested than her mother and
Right.
Polly. Polly is kind of busty.
And I think there is even a line where Billie Jean looks in the mirror and she's like, "I wish my boobs were bigger" or something.
Yeah. So then Polly gets jealous. So Skerritt bangs both of them.
Yeah.
Pretty incestual.
Yeah, but actually, she's even invited to sleep with him by her sister, which was like, I don't know.
To me, it's just like a real like male fantasy thing.
Right, like, ooh, I'm sleeping with the two country girls.
Yeah.
I haven't showered in weeks. It's disgusting.
Yeah, so Wilma and Diller get into it, and Polly is worried he's going to leave. She's developed feelings for him, and she reveals to her sister, Billie Jean, that she's pregnant. She's been taking loads raw dog from Tom Skerritt. And one of those jokers must have took.
Who doesn't pull out because he's a fucking bank robber.
Yeah, well, after all that and like pulling her daughter away from the wedding and the burlesque show, I'm a little disappointed in Mama. I thought she would do more to protect Polly than just, blow Captain Kirk while a bank robber, dumps in her without protection.
Right, yeah. It does seem very irresponsible.
So Polly's pregnancy complicates the already strange arrangement. And then the gang sticks up a high society party, and afterwards they decide to kidnap the family's daughter so they can hold her for ransom.
Yeah, high society,
This
right?
is their big plot.
They go around like stealing everybody's clothes, like
Yeah, well, first they stick up the party, right?
Well, to get into the party, first they
they
like
take,
knock
like,
out
their
some musicians,
tuxedos.
steal their outfits. They go into the place. They steal some chef's outfits. They tie them up like, I don't know, like every old. I guess that's what you did back in the day. That's what Indiana Jones does to people. That's what I guess spies do to people.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you beat people up, tie them up, steal their clothes.
Yeah, that's how you stole someone's identity in the 70s. You just stole their clothes, tied them up, and left them.
It was that easy.
Just
easy. Leave them out in the open, like just on the street, tied up, and clothesless. It's fine. You're gonna get into this party, and you'll be out before anybody figures out anything.
Yeah, there's a little bit of satire about the high society folks and whatnot.
Yeah, being like, oh, the poor people. Actually, I don't remember the lines, but she was the daughter was huffy about only getting $1 million. I think is the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
The heiress was like kind of a parody of herself.
Right.
And it's kind of bad news for this heiress that she's been kidnapped by this particular group, because Tom Skerritt is pretty handsy with the young ladies.
Oh, he just gropes and grab him by the pussy. He said that first in the 30s, actually.
Oh yeah.
Well,
they have the heiress kidnapped and she's all tied up, and Tom Skerritt like just starts grabbing her tits, and they play it as a gag. Haha, you can't defend yourself from sexual assault.
Yeah.
I got your tits.
And everybody else there is like,
I got your pussy. What you gonna do? Cry?
Hooping and hollering. Well, he just wanted to feel what a $1 million boob felt like.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's it's this whole exploitation. It's commentary on itself. $1 million boobie.
It's exploitation, and it's not really supposed to be meant as like a real threatening sexual assault scenario.
Right.
It's
He's just goofing.
It's just that like the context of nowadays, like people would not be comfortable with this, and that's what's kind of funny about it. But it is really just like he's just grabbing her tit
to say a joke.
Yeah. I do enjoy William Shatner's performance in this film, though. The scene where he gets into a fight with Diller is pretty good.
God damn it! You illiterate, uneducated bastard! Come on!
All the acting in Big Bad Mama is pretty good. For like a trashy exploitation flick, this is really top-notch 70s sexploitation.
Yeah, everybody plays the role as they should, I feel like. Yeah, there's not like... There's a couple of lines here or there that are like, that felt mis-said, or like...
Yeah, I just think it's a good cast. It has good direction. So the young millionaire's daughter tries to like seduce Diller, and this time Baxter watches, and just when you think they're gonna initiate sex,
he watches all creepy, like getting all sweaty and like bloated. Well, he's like, oh, I should have done that.
It's almost like this movie is commenting on its own voyeurism. But yeah, when she goes to initiate sex with Diller, she kicks him in the balls and runs for the door, and Baxter just lets her go.
Yeah, he actually
runs too. Yeah,
shows her the way.
So they're out of there, and then Baxter gets nabbed by the feds, so he gets picked up.
He was very drunk.
Okay, yeah, he was pretty drunk.
Well, I mean, that's hours later. He also sweated. He probably sweated it all out.
Yeah.
By then, running through the corner,
he sweats a lot.
Oh my
so.
God. He's like The Rock.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Just
I don't know. I don't really see the comparison of The Rock to William Shatner. I guess they were both really broad actors at one time, but
right. There's one movie where The Rock's really sweaty.
Oh, okay.
At least.
Well, he's sweaty and vascular though. He's like athletic sweaty.
Right. Instead of just
not like got the meat sweats from having too much fucking chili.
Pastrami.
Yeah. So the
pastrami cold cut straight out of the bag.
Yeah. So the next day, the lawyer from the wealthy family shows up with the suitcase full of cash. And Billie Jean finds Mama banging Diller again in the barn.
Right, and kind of shocking.
Well, Wilma McClatchy has a ferocious sexual appetite.
Oh, yeah, she cannot get enough.
Yeah, she needs it.
That's what makes her big.
Yeah. And then she comes out topless. She comes out like topless and pulls her dress up while she's holding the pistol.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
You get to put like a full nude body shot. You see Bush. It's she got a nice body. It feels very just unnecessary, but hey, boobs. Throw in one more shot.
Russ thinks it's unnecessary, but
it's like the action movie principle. If you don't have an action scene every 10 minutes, it gets boring. So if this is an sexploitation, I better have some sex every 10 minutes or so, or less.
Yeah, you got to show these principal actresses topless throughout the film. Yeah. It's kind of what people are going to it for.
What else has she done?
Angie Dickinson. She was in a lot of stuff, and she starred in a TV series pretty soon after this called Policewoman, which was like a big NBC TV series, which is kind of weird. Is I wouldn't expect somebody who was doing like skin flicks to be doing like mainstream shit. But Angie Dickinson was this totally mainstream actress. I guess people just didn't really care back then.
Right. I mean, if you had a appeal,
it was the 80s when this shit became like people became like real self-righteous and moralistic about sex in film and stuff. I have been watching like a lot of these sexploitation movies. They're better in the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah, they're more fun in the 70s because they had to like. There's just the artifice of making it a movie was just so much greater.
You have cars flipping in this one. You're not
only
going to flip
that,
a car
the
apart.
people that are in sexploitation movies in the 70s are just actors.
Right, like-
They're just actors that would be in other movies.
Mm-hmm.
Into the 80s and 90s, the people that are in sexploitation films, a lot of the times, they're more like Playboy models and women who specifically do sex movies.
Sure.
So they're just not as good of actors. They're not actors.
Right.
They're not interesting looking. They can't perform. So it's not as compelling of a film.
Right. Sure.
They might look better in the sex scene, but that's about it.
Right. But that's what you came to that thing for the sex scene, not for their
I guess
acting
so. Sure.
at that point.
Yeah. Mama comes out topless and pulls her dress up while she's holding the pistol. And the lawyer drops the dough, and then the feds show up. And that leads to a shootout.
Mm-hmm. Big shootout.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, it is. It's good shooting and stuff. They try and get out with the hostages cover, but Diller sees Baxter and starts shooting at him, which gives her the chance to run.
Yeah. Everybody starts getting hit. And,
Yeah.
Cars are getting shot through and squibs going off on
Yeah,
guys.
it's really well directed shootout for the 70s. It's pretty good.
And I'm
the
wondering...
fake blood is pretty distracting, but it's like all 70s movies.
Right.
It's so funny to me,
almost
dude, they
reddest.
couldn't like figure out the technology for fake blood until
fake
the
blood color?
1980s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, just what? Why are you using
No,
the
because
reddest-
it
just
took like
chalk?
serious advancements in corn syrup technology.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the same technology that made realistic blood possible was like what made fruit roll-ups and gushers possible.
Finally.
And also, asshole cancer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's all inherited.
People, they act like horror was great in the 80s because of advancements in practical effects. It was just the blood.
Yeah, blood.
they just didn't have blood in the 70s.
A lot of animatronic and like sweet
no.
puppetry stuff in the 80s.
Yeah, practical effects, like they got a lot better in the 80s.
Like
for sure.
people's makeup and various
I think even just the materials that are available to make things out of, like when you look at
foam
the
latex, etc.
and you look at the fake fur, like when you look at the original Bigfoot suit, and it's like just carpet. It looks like it's just like a carpet stapled onto a guy. I don't think they had like good fake fur and shit back then. So the girls are able to make it out of there while Diller covers them with the Tommy gun,
Just blasting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives like a wink, like no, I'm gonna give up my life.
Yeah, he's gonna sacrifice
What?
himself. Yeah, he's a selfless guy who's just busting loads and all these fucking
And just like in the whole family,
underage
Yeah, just
child brides.
cool guy. I mean, I guess at that point he's like, well, I fucked everybody in this family.
Yeah.
I don't want that baby, so. Wait, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Even if I survive, I don't have to see him again. They'll think I died.
Yeah. So Diller gets killed, and then they cut to a seemingly happy ending.
Where Diller's dead, and Shatner's dead, and
Shatner is dead,
and Dick is still alive, but he's crying because he didn't get
Dick Miller.
Mama. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like they just paced this movie together with scenes of Dick Miller being like, "Ah, missed him again." It's pretty cliche. And so like I said, they cut to a seemingly happy ending. The girls are getting away with the money, and then we see they cut to Wilma's arm dripping blood, revealing that she was actually hit in the shootout.
She's got some finger paint all over her armpit, Gary.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even make sense where this blood's coming from. Oops. It doesn't even make sense where this blood's coming from. It looks like she got shot in the pit, and it's like coming up over her shoulder and like around and down. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess she could have gotten like, shot in the vital, shot in the heart or something.
Yeah, there are some bullshits in the arm, right underneath your armpit. If you got hit right on the armpit, you
bleed out.
That's bad news. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sad.
It's a sad ending. Yeah, the fact that Wilma didn't survive is sad, but it is kind of a good ending in the fact that it keeps you asking like what happened to Billie Jean and Polly.
Mm-hmm.
I like to believe they made away with the million and they're raising Polly's child somewhere nice.
Mm-hmm.
But more likely, they fucked up their situation and are now giving hand jobs at a fireman's hall somewhere.
Spinning booby tassels.
Yeah.
I do wish there was at least one more like close up of a naked titty, in that final scene when they're driving away.
You wish there's more titty popping.
You just one more titty,
Yeah,
it would have been a nice closure. Like, oh, I'm sad about Mama. Oh, great tit.
Yeah, sure.
And then circle iris down transition.
Yeah, iris close on the nipple.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty classy.
Maybe the nipple it stops around the nipple for a second, and and just kind of like
Just stops
leaves
on
it.
the nipple,
Yeah, and then either fades out to credits. Seal Kiss from a Rose plays.
Why Seal Kiss from a Rose?
You know, it's a good one.
That's just like that's what you think of when you think of sensuality.
Well, you'd rather have more Deliverance music at the end?
I don't know. Just Seal just makes me think of Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Also, Seal's,
Bat nipples, Gary.
Seal's very unfortunate facial scarring.
Yeah.
So he looks like a fucking Batman villain.
He should have
been in the fucking movie.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen the...
Oh my God, what happened to you?
I'm Scarface.
Yeah.
Life's
I'm English and I'm black and I'm scarred up.
His name is Seal. That's not even a real name.
Should have been in Batman Returns with fucking Penguin and Catwoman and fucking all the other animal
Seal.
characters. Yeah.
Man.
But enough about Batman, Russ. Big Bad Mama.
Is it enough about Batman?
Oh, it's always enough about
Yeah,
Batman.
no, you're right. I'm over Batman. Back to Big Bad Batman. Mama.
Big Batman Mama.
Big Bat Mama.
That's right. I'm going to dress up like a bat and go out and fight crime with my girls because they deserve better. This is Big Batman Mama.
People would watch that, Gary. People would surely watch
There'd be a
that.
scene with her putting her leathery ass all over Joker.
Endless titties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess all that said, what final thoughts?
I love it, dude. I think Big Bad Mama is a 4-star movie. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, there's like plot holes out the ass, and like it's really hard to follow, but it's just fun the whole time. And it's just like it's top notch as far as like sexploitation goes. It's got great cast, great acting, great direction.
It has.
It's well made.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
Yeah, sure. I feel all that.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna give it 3 though.
Sure.
And only because a lot of the scenes are really awkward. It's not like sexy time at all. It's like I feel weird about this scenario, and I'm not like, it's not really titillating. I'm just
okay. I'm kind of surprised
off.
that that's your takeaway. I figured, because honestly, a lot of the sex in this movie, it's more motivated by what the woman wants.
Yeah, sure.
It's more like the woman wants to have sex.
Right.
So I kind of figured that would be your take on it. But yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it's with like a lot of.
I think this
women.
is a feminist movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
you
maybe
could definitely
that's the
question like the motives and like the actions of these people and the logic of it. But I think it's mostly just like a lack of logic. In the end, you have a strong female character, and it's pretty pretty unprecedented as far as like. The sex is mostly for her pleasure.
Yeah, you're right.
She kind of does what she wants, and she kind of betters patriarchal society in like kind of ridiculous ways.
Sure, yeah.
Like every aspect of it. It's just like the church, the fucking government, and the police. She just kind of cuts their cocks off.
Sorry, Dick.
Yeah.
Sorry about your dick. Yeah, no, you're right, dude. The women.
And I think there's definitely a huge part of this movie is like the male fantasy of like getting to have sex with the hot mom and her daughters, but it's not really what the movie's about. The movie is really about this like this strong female character
who does what she wants and gets what she wants.
And it's like a matriarchal thing.
Yeah,
like she's in charge of the gang,
right?
And she's in charge of everything. You know,
and all that matter are her and her daughters, because it's them at the beginning. It's them at the end.
Also, and as far as sexploitation goes, this is like, it's sexploitation, but it's not rape sexploitation. It's not like the type of sexploitation movie where the women all get raped, which is like the other side of the coin. This is more like the women just kind of living their lives and having fun.
Right. Yeah,
sure. So I think this movie's a lot more fun. It's like a fun film.
It was fun. It was fun. So yeah, I mean, actually, I don't want to give points. I'm not going to give like a 0.5 rating. But
honestly, I think rating movies is so stupid. It's like, do you think it's good? Do you think people should watch it or not? But in some way, I guess you have to quantify things. And there's a reason why I'm giving this 4 stars, because I think it's really good for a 70s exploitation movie. But 3 stars is fine. It's fucking. I think it's a good movie, right?
Really
it's not,
yeah.
It's entertaining. It's not boring. You know.
And
For what it is, I think it's really
exactly.
good.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that is the takeaway. Maybe
Yeah.
The plot's a little bit here and there, and things are weird. But that was 70s. That was all 70s movies, and yeah, all things considered, yeah, good movie. It's got stunts. It's got action. It's got boobies. It's got commentary. It's fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Big Bad
and
Mama.
the acting's really great. Like even the guy who plays Uncle Barney, I think his name is Noble Willingham. He's fucking hilarious. And the guy who plays the sheriff is funny.
He looks like a who's the singer from Hamilton?
Oh, Lin-Manuel.
Yeah, it looks like a
Miranda?
fat Lin-Manuel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's another one. It's another good movie by Roger Corman and company. You know, made a lot of great films.
And a handful of stinkers.
Yeah. I made a lot of stinkers, but I made a lot of good films. This one, I think, as far as like sexploitation goes, this is like up there with Gator Bait. This is a real gem.
Successful.
We're bringing you guys real gems of the sexploitation genre, not just all the shit.
Not just trash.
Yeah, real picks of the litter.
Yeah. So curated by Gary.
Yeah,
he picks the good ones
Sure.
for you. It's for you people.
Definitely not just the movies that are free on Tubi.
Yeah, it's definitely couldn't just be.
So these were sought out specifically.
Yeah, on the Criterion. We watch them on 35 millimeter original prints.
Do we?
I do.
This
Well,
movie
have
look
you
good?
been,
I was
have
trying
you
to
been
think-
watching them?
Was this like this movie? Was it HD? Did it look good, or was it standard def?
It was square.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Which I don't know what that means. It could still have been HD. It could have just been shot
Yeah,
standard def or square.
Yeah,
Full aperture.
Right.
Because when film is 4:3.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
guess
just
the
CinemaScope
frame.
is the
way you
the
mask it.
anamorphic, and then the other,
Right.
squeezing it into the.
It's cutting the top and bottom off that you totally leave on the printed frame when you send it around to the theaters. By the way, you knew that, right? You know, there's a lot of time when I was working
This
at
is
the
interesting because I used to hear Lloyd talk about this, and so regular spherical lens, 35 millimeter, you're getting a square image, right? And then so the reason why a lot of movies are the wider aspect ratios, they're shooting on anamorphic lenses and squeezing the image, and then they project it wider, right?
You
But
need
are some films just? You're saying they just they're just letterboxing it.
when I worked as a projectionist, to play there was either anamorphic and flat. Flat, they probably didn't use anamorphic lenses, and so you just had a different lens that you put onto the actual projector. And then when you did an anamorphic movie, you had to switch it over to scope, right? And with that, you also had to adjust focus and all that jazz. But then there's also this little, I forget what the name of it, but a little sliding piece that comes in and mats off the top and bottom of frame depending on scope or flat. Okay. Right. And so it's a different kind of ratio that ends up matting it in the theater. You actually have a bigger frame on the thing because 4:3, but if we're making it 16:9 or wider or less so, you still have the extra stuff on there. So when I was adding films together,
but is it actually like information, or is it just like another black box?
No, it's you could see booms hanging into shots.
Yeah,
like in the Three Stooges movie, there's definitely a number of shots.
This is what I used to hear. This is what Lloyd used to say, is that like the big movies that they're just cutting out the mics. So he's like, yeah, just film the whole frame. They're not cutting out anything.
Right.
But
there's the Wrath of the Titans. Oh, that upper part was an income. There was like a big matte shot, like a digital matte, but the top was just not done. It was just, you could see all the scaffolding and bullshit because the effects started where you'd be seeing it and kind of stop.
But that's so interesting that they don't
frame.
send it to the theater matted just in case, like for quality control,
just in case
they don't fuck up and show you.
No,
like,
definitely, it was weird.
The boom mic.
Yeah. You put in the wrong matter there, and you're gonna see booms and weird shit.
Yeah.
But you're also gonna get the screen spilling onto like the curtains
That's
around.
the thing, is, like, we're so nostalgic and like for like the film industry, but it's such a fucking stupid thing. Of course, it doesn't exist anymore. Of course, it's going away. What fucking dumb? Oh, I'm gonna make this print of this movie and ship it over here so they can watch it.
So some guy can spend a couple hours assembling it first, and then
it's flammable, so you gotta ship it in a special
highly
truck.
flammable and very heavy. Yeah. Pretty wild. I do kind of miss working with film, but such is the days, whatever. It was archaic at that point because they're already digitally shooting it and then printing it onto film. Like, what are you doing? We're not saving.
Oh, yeah.
We're not saving
Sure.
image quality there.
Yeah, 2010 era of like taking movies that are shot digitally and putting them on film and sending them to a theater that plays them on film is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, because back when when it's all just film, obviously you get it's
or if you're actually shooting it on film and you're taking the time to present it in the proper way. But also, I just think it's so ridiculous because like even when they're shooting movies on film, they're taking the film, digitizing it. Editing the movie as a video,
coloring
and
it,
then putting it back onto film.
Yeah,
which is so stupid.
Yeah,
it seems so stupid. It seems like you wouldn't even retain the original quality.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah, seems like it would look worse.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I think a lot of time when you work in editing on 35 or 16, whatever, you would make duplicates of that film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd have multiples of the shot.
And when you make a duplicate of film, it degrades.
It degrades.
So like when you see a movie that has like a composited shot, it looks like the background is degraded or whatever because it's a second generation copy. And the more you do that, the more layers, it starts looking worse. So you're very limited as far as compositing. And it does. It really takes you out of it. When you watch old movies, you could see
like,
the compositing is super obvious because the film looks off. This is fucking boring.
Yeah, this is just film.
This is so boring.
This is film nerd shit.
Yeah,
We're film nerds.
And it's not even film nerd shit. 'Cause it's like me. I don't even really know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of like speculating on it. It's like a real waste of time.
All right. Well, I mean, we could have finished a while back.
Yeah,
So we can call it good. All right, cool.
We're just talking for no reason.